Everyone is talking about Spain, Lamine Yamal's rise, Mikel Oyarzabal's goals, Rodri controlling the midfield. And after dismantling Saudi Arabia 4-0, many fans already believe Spain are cruising into the knockout stage. But what if that's exactly why Uruguay have become the most dangerous team in this group? Because while everyone remembers Spain's dominant victory, they've forgotten something much more important. Marcelo Bielsa's Uruguay are at their most dangerous when nobody believes in them. They've made costly mistakes, dropped points against Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde, and suddenly the football world has written them off. But beneath those disappointing results lies a tactical puzzle that could completely change Group H. So before you predict another comfortable Spanish victory, here's why everyone is underestimating Uruguay. On paper, Spain look like the obvious favorites. They sit top of Group H with 4 points after a frustrating 0-0 draw against Cape Verde, followed by a ruthless 4-0 victory over Saudi Arabia. That second performance reminded everyone why Luis de la Fuente's side are considered one of the favorites to win the World Cup. Lamine Yamal finally looked fully fit, scoring his first World Cup goal. Mikel Oyarzabal produced a clinical brace. Rodri completely controlled the rhythm of the match. And perhaps most importantly, Spain have still not conceded a single goal in this tournament. Confidence has returned, criticism has disappeared, but sometimes success creates its own danger. Spain only need a draw to finish top of the group. That changes the psychology of the match. Do they attack with the same aggression, or do they become slightly more cautious, protecting what they already have? That tiny shift could completely change the game. Meanwhile, Uruguay arrive under enormous pressure. 2 draws, 2 missed opportunities. A 1-1 draw against Saudi Arabia, a frustrating 2-2 draw against Cape Verde after throwing away another lead. From the outside, it looks like a team in decline. But Marcelo Bielsa sees something different. After the Cape Verde draw, he admitted, "The organizational mistakes always fall upon the coach. We paid a very high cost." That quote tells us something important. The problem isn't talent. The problem is organization. An organization can be fixed much faster than quality. This isn't simply Spain versus Uruguay. It's positional football versus controlled chaos. Spain want long spells of possession. They stretch the pitch, create passing triangles, move opponents out of shape, then suddenly attack vertically through Rodri, Dani Olmo, and Lamine Yamal. Against Saudi Arabia, everything clicked. The ball moved faster. The wingers stayed wider. Rodri dictated every transition. Spain looked like the complete package. But Uruguay don't defend like Saudi Arabia. Marcelo Bielsa demands relentless pressure. His players hunt the ball high up the pitch. They force mistakes, they invite chaos. When it works, they overwhelm opponents with speed and intensity. The problem is that this aggressive approach leaves enormous spaces behind their fullbacks. Cape Verde exposed those spaces. Saudi Arabia exposed them too. Against Spain, those same gaps could become fatal if Yamal and Oyarzabal exploit them. But here's the twist. Spain's possession system also has a weakness. If Bielsa's press wins the ball high enough, Rodri loses the chance to organize Spain's defensive structure. Suddenly, Spain's center backs are isolated, and that's exactly where Federico Valverde becomes so important. If Valverde escapes Rodri's shadow, Uruguay can launch devastating transitions before Spain reset their shape. One successful press could completely change the momentum of the match. Everyone expects Lamine Yamal to steal the headlines. At just 18 years old, he's already playing with remarkable confidence. His movement against Saudi Arabia stretched the defense, creating space not only for himself, but also for Mikel Oyarzabal. If Uruguay give him time on the ball, he'll punish them. But Uruguay have their own stars. Federico Valverde remains one of the most complete midfielders in world football. He combines endless energy with intelligent passing and powerful ball carrying. If Rodri dominates this duel, Spain will likely control the game. If Valverde breaks free, Uruguay suddenly become incredibly dangerous. Then there's Darwin Nunez. He made an immediate impact off the bench in the previous match and could earn a starting role. His pace behind Spain's defensive line offers Uruguay something completely different. Even if he only gets 2 or 3 chances, that might be enough. Don't overlook Maximiliano Araujo either. He's quietly become Uruguay's biggest attacking threat with 2 tournament goals already. Sometimes football focuses so heavily on superstars that it ignores the players actually delivering results. Spain are unbeaten against Uruguay across 10 meetings, 5 wins, 5 draws. That statistic sounds intimidating, but history doesn't win football matches. Current form does, tactics do, mentality does. Every World Cup creates its own stories. Every tournament produces surprises that nobody predicted. And if Uruguay can fix just one problem, their defensive organization, they instantly become far more dangerous than most fans realize. Spain know a draw is enough. Uruguay know they have little room for error. Sometimes desperation creates performances that statistics simply cannot predict. If Spain score first, expect them to dominate possession possession and force Uruguay into chasing the game. That plays directly into Spain's strengths. If Uruguay score first, everything changes. Spain will have to push more players forward. The spaces behind their midfield become larger. That's exactly where Bielsa's transition football becomes lethal. The most likely outcome is an incredibly tactical first half with both teams testing each other's structure rather than attacking recklessly. Watch these battles closely. Rodri versus Valverde, Yamal versus Uruguay's left side, Oyarzabal's movement between the center backs, and perhaps most importantly, whether Bielsa has finally solved the defensive mistakes that cost Uruguay valuable points. Because if he has, Spain could be facing a much tougher night than anyone expects. This match isn't just about qualifying for the round of 32. It's about momentum. Spain want to prove their dominant performance against Saudi Arabia wasn't a one-off. Uruguay want to prove they are far better than their results suggest. One team enters with confidence, the other enters with urgency. One plays with control, the other thrives on chaos. And sometimes, chaos is exactly what a World Cup needs to produce another unforgettable upset. So while millions of fans expect Spain to comfortably finish top of Group H, don't be surprised if Uruguay remind the football world why writing them off has always been a dangerous mistake. Because in football, the most dangerous opponent is often the one everyone has already underestimated. If Spain survive this test, they'll enter the knockout rounds looking every bit like genuine title contenders. But if Uruguay pull off the upset, the entire World Cup bracket could change in a single night. And that's why this isn't just another group stage match. It could be the moment that reshapes the road to the FIFA World Cup final.